And we are live. Sunday Night with Those Guys, and Sunday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys. It worked. It was a success. What's up? How are you, Herbert? I've been trying to get that horn for the longest. So
it is
now,
at the end of the week.
Yes, the end and the beginning of the
We're
week.
on.
Yes. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, everyone. How the hell are you? Blind Neil was there, Third Eye View, Jody, drone shots, Texas Arc drone guy was in earlier. Throttle warning was in even earlier. I tend to get to the stream now and I put the little buffering thing. Then I put a picture of the monkey with a hammer and then I put the YouTube logo.
Okay.
He thought it was funny. But how are you, Herman? What's up, man? Happy Sunday.
Well, I'm good. I'm just here. Sunday. It's another day in the beginning of the week or the end of the week, whichever one you want to call it. Either way, it's
And one more game closer to the championship due to a bye.
Well, not a bye, but the other team forfeit. You know.
Okay, well, that's I know. I know you guys are hungry and would have rather played the game, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
We got every other week off.
It seems like it, right?
That's what it seems like. That's what it's been. So, we'll take it 4-0, however it comes.
No, I hear you, man. But anyway, what's up, everybody? How you doing? Hold on, let me make sure everyone in the chat is on the same page.
What's going on, Blind Neil? What's up, man?
Blind Neil, Third Eye, Texas.
Third Eye, yeah. What's up? Good drone shots. What's up, man? How you been?
Bob Casey, how are you, sir? Did you get that chair yet, Bob? And when you do, we want to see some pictures so we can see what kind you got. Fly Guy Merrill, how are you? Welcome to Sunday Nights with Those Guys, because Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by those guys.
Yeah, those guys.
Hey, listen, I'm usually in a good mood most of the time. I'm in an exceptionally good mood today. I don't know why. I think it's because I got some damn rest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I vegged out.
Check. I gotta go check the mailbox.
Yeah.
At the new place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Drone Bum, Paulie, how are you? Well, I always check your background when you go live, and I noticed that one of these things doesn't belong here. You remember that song?
Yeah.
Well, I noticed there's some color over there over your right shoulder. Red. What's that in those red boxes over there?
Oh,
Paulie, what's good, man? We ran into Paulie over at
I don't know if you can read it, but is it
Whoosh Tech Hygiene?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're for cleaning, screens, glasses, and stuff like that. It's basically like a baby wipe for your screen, your televisions.
Barry, what's good, man?
Stuff like that.
Okay, what's up? Hi, Barry, how are you? Northeast New England journalist. How are you, man? What's good? Hope all is well. Barry's first time here. Congratulations to you, Barry. Those of you who don't know, New England journalist just got married.
Okay. Congratulations.
I don't dare say anything bad because the wife is probably nearby. You just got married. They stick to you like glue, buddy. So congratulations on newlyweds.
It's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah. It is. It's a great thing to be married. I did that once long ago. Love my drones. Ed, how are you, sir? Ed,
what's good, baby?
I'm glad to see you're doing well. I hope you're getting better and better. Bloody bum. You talk about drone bum. I'm glad to see, Eddie, you're on the internet more and more, which means you're getting stronger. I did see a link for your GoFundMe page someone had sent somewhere. I had bookmark, but I'm glad to see you back, Ed. We missed you. And
Yeah,
we had ran into Paulie this
yeah.
week, Paul and
At
his friend over there
Kings Park.
at Kings Park Psychiatric Center.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were out there. Meet up with
He got to fly a little. He was flying before us
and
when we first got there.
Captain Ray.
Yes, that's true. Ray Kelly was there. Rob C. Aviano. Michael Blades, how are you? Birdman RC. Everyone's starting to come into the stream. Looks like it'll be a pretty decent night tonight. And here comes Capture Life's Connection, Stevie.
Okay.
Stevie Bronx. What's up, Stevie? How are you, man? Hold on. He's still coming in.
You hear me?
We got to give you the proper introduction. Capture Life's Connection is here live in person. And what's up, Stevie?
You guys
What's up,
got all the bells and whistles, huh?
Listen, I'm ready, bro. I'm
I
ready.
see you were talking about it. You made it happen.
I'm ready, man. Yeah, see,
That's
you
cool.
gotta add to Johnny Drone Flyer. What's up, man? You have to add to the
Johnny.
production value.
Yeah,
know,
that's cool.
We have the super chat button. We have the booing crowd. We got the news ticker. We even got the crickets, man.
I'm all for
Okay.
it, bro. I'm all for it. Let's hope I don't attract any crickets. Let's hope the jokes are not dry.
Laura, how are you? Hey, if you guys don't know New England Journalist, congratulate him. He just got married. He jumped over the broom. Usually I would say something mean, but I'm not because I was married once and I know his wife is probably nearby and I want her to still think I'm a good guy.
Congrats. Many congrats. Yes.
Ray Kelly, what's good? It was fun flying with you, Ray, this week. And Drone Paulie was there, Drone Bum Ray, like I said, Aviano. We went out to Kings Park, Stevie.
Yeah. How was that?
Yeah.
This week. This week we went out.
It was pretty good.
More abandoned stuff. We got so much abandoned stuff, huh?
Dude,
You know what?
Crazy over there.
You know what? The craziest thing was over at Pilgrim with me and Lawrence trying to get up inside the building, and
You guys going in the building while FPV drones are going at it. That was an adventure in itself. I'm like, where are they going? I see you guys going, and I see drones going in and out, in and out.
Dude,
As
we're
you guys are going
ducking. I'm standing in the archway.
Hey, Kelly.
You know they have the giant arches, right?
Yes,
I'm
yes.
Well, I wasn't standing. I'm like, let me hurry up and get through here. So I hear, yeah, and I didn't know where it was coming from. So I froze, and all of a sudden you see one over me. Yeah.
Yeah, the guys I was with the guys, and they're like, what they doing in there? I see them like split seconds, they would see you walking. I'm like, man,
how fast they were going
Lawrence
by.
is taking chances, man. He ain't short. They don't have to fly that low to hit you in the head.
They didn't. One guy came through. I put my hand up and I said, wait a minute, that may not be a good idea.
Yeah.
A little lower.
Yeah, I would have been crouching.
Wait till you see the footage. Wait till you see the footage, though.
It must be sick. You should have filmed walking in there because I got close to the edge. Oh, you got it. Cool.
We got footage of us going towards the hole and footage inside and footage of us leaving and stuff like that.
It's dark and wet in there, and this is nasty.
Oh, it was real nasty. It smelled moldy, and there may have been a slight scent.
I don't even know how.
Yeah,
I don't even know how guys get upstairs to spray paint on the roof.
Yeah, they're risking their lives. They're literally risking their lives because I've been in an abandoned building before, similar to that one, right? And
hey JSK,
one of the drone pilots that we were hanging out with.
JSK, what's up?
Hey JSK Leonard. One of the drone pilots came down to Jersey to hang out with us, whatever, and he crashed, unfortunately. So we went into the building to see if we could retrieve it. And it's super dangerous, man. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
Well, see, I don't recommend it for my sake because, first of all, I'm 275 pounds. Okay, a lot of those stairs haven't been walked on. The stairs and floors have not been walked on for years. So imagine you hit a weak spot on a stairway or floor.
No, listen, bro. There's section. I mean, it's an abandoned building. You can't
But-
expect to see the safety standards of New York City in those places. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
went
but
into
the fact
abandoned
that there's
building.
water,
Yeah, and it's rust, it's
dripping.
decay. Listen, there's trees. If you look at your footage from that day,
Mhm.
I noticed trees. The birds
growing
carry
out of the
seeds,
building,
right?
yeah.
Growing on the roof, little
Yes.
piles of dirt
Yes.
that accumulated from dust over
Actually,
the
that
years.
tree was about 7, 8 feet tall too. That
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
no small
exactly.
tree
It
on the
wasn't
roof.
just it wasn't a baby tree. This thing was a real tree on top of a roof of a building where there was no planters when this building was first put together. This wasn't a
Right.
roof deck. It was a factory. You know what I'm saying? So that tells you in itself. But
That's true.
I was walking around the abandoned building and I filmed it. I want to release this footage. It's sick because you're walking and there's sections where there was metal plates removed.
Not funny, Michael Blades.
And
He
you could
was alarms
fall.
in the basement.
You could literally fall 6 stories, 7 stories if you walk into these empty spaces in the abandoned building I was in, not the one that we were at, not the one we were at. It was another location. But like I said, you could be walking and just drop through a broken, corroded floor, and nobody would know, especially if you by yourself trying to get your FPV drone.
Man,
I would highly recommend you take the L, get on Amazon, start ordering your parts instead of going to these abandoned buildings,
check this
especially
out.
if you by yourself.
And you good.
Check
Yeah,
this
I
out.
mean,
Hey, Gary, what's up? What's up, Brant Aerials? If I'm by myself and I'm flying FPV, it's gone.
Yeah, right. What's up, huh?
It's gone. If there's a chance
Whoa.
that I cannot recover it, I'm not going to risk my life to recover something that I can replace.
I tell you a true story. In an abandoned building, a friend of mine was taking pictures or whatever. And he was stepping back trying to frame the shot.
Mhm.
And luckily he turned around just to check where he was walking backwards. And there was a hole that was like a 10-story drop. And he was by himself.
That's right, Amazon.
He was by himself in this building. You know what I'm saying? So imagine
Wow.
that. Nobody would even known. Nobody knew he was in there. It would have been one of those situations that some graffiti writer or something would have found him, you know, God forbid, like years later or
I
something.
wanted to talk about something real quick because we BS around and kill time until we're ready to do news stories and shit. But did you guys see the latest video of the drones falling from the sky? And if you haven't, we have the video here. But what I want to point out is this is just one of many videos to come. This is a video that seems to be spreading on the internet. I actually did see another video somewhere, but I could not save it. But there's another video of the drone coming down, hitting the car, and the guy looks at it and picks it up and runs with it. So as I get this,
was that in New York?
No, that could never have been in the United States.
Yeah, right.
This is. Let me set it
running
up
with the
real
drone?
quick. No,
Like
it was not. It was not in the United
it was
States.
in the States? Oh, okay.
This was not. This was over in Asia somewhere, and this is just watch.
What up, Ed?
There was a light show. Now, somehow the emergency function of these are to descend slowly, but some of them are dropping.
Wow.
Now you're going to see one. Hold on. I'm going to see one show one hit the car. Here's one on the side right here. Bam!
It's literally raining.
And it's laying right there.
Drones.
Yes. Now, a safety feature, and a lot of people don't know this, of these drones to fail safe. See, that guy grabbed one.
Yeah.
Hold on. Right here. He's running to pick it up and run. But
Wow.
the safety feature too of these drones when they're doing these drone light shows is a fail safe is to fall to the ground or land, not fall, land controllably to the ground. If you notice, they weren't so much dropping, but they were gradually descending.
That's right, Ray.
Some of them were descending a lot faster than others, though.
So what, they picked them up and grabbed them, so what they could do, reverse engineer something to make their own controller for it?
They look up the model number, order the remote controller.
But see, what they don't realize is the first time that they power that drone back up, GPS is going to kick in and someone will probably be knocking on your door because they're all linked to one computer. I mean, that's how you do these drone shows and stuff like that. I'm sure they also won't be getting a few either back.
All you gotta do is rip out the guts and push your own stuff in there.
Listen, I know there's an FPV pilot that picked up one and said, "Man, now I got an X-class drone. Let me put some racing motors in this baby and see what she can do."
Yeah, rip everything out.
Yep. Got it.
What happened?
They just gut it, take everything out, do
Right,
something
but
with it.
anyway, I'll put the link to the video so you can hear it. There's not a whole bunch of sound and everything, but if I find the other one where the guy looks at it and just takes after it hits the car and bounces on the ground, like similar like what the dude did, but he picked it up and he was out. My Hubson
Uh,
did that the other day, my first hand catch. Ed, watch
If you
those
put
hand
like the
catches.
exploding die packs, like the
Ed,
bank
what's up, Ed?
Exactly,
on
throttle
those
FPV,
drones,
X class, definitely.
Gary, hello.
Jeremy Lawrence,
What
if you put
happened?
the exploding die packs on those drones, like the bank,
See a bunch of colored people walking, blue and red colored people running around now. That would
orange
be
people
fun.
running around with damn.
See all the FPV heads in the chat are going, yo, rip that sucker apart and rebuild it. X-Class
Exactly.
ROM.
What's
Hey,
up, Roger?
Roger. How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Roger? Today, Roger took his pilot's test for their equivalent to the 107 today. So
What are you
he
talking about?
passed the written test, and what I understand, you
Okay,
have to do a physical flight test or
you have to
something.
take a physical flight test.
I hope
What's
that
up?
Now,
worked out, Roger.
now, what I
Jackson?
don't understand is this: in the basic over there in Canada, they made
Yeah.
jokes about having to know how to use how to fly a helicopter. Now, with Roger having to take a practical, did he have to fly the helicopter?
Oh
I
God, I
didn't
hope
hear
not.
about any helicopters crashing in Canada, so I don't think so.
This is true. I was about to say, oh God, I hope not. There were no helicopter crashing into buildings or anything in
Hey, Lawrence,
Canada.
this is where
Yo,
your sound
listen,
effects come in.
Hey, Travels with Rosie.
RC
I know.
helicopters
See, now
are
I need an explosion.
they're impossible to fly, man. I heard.
See, every time I do a live stream, I get more and more stuff to add to my sound effects list. So now I need an
Congratulations, Roger.
explosion. Because
Oh, he
or the
passed it?
crash and burn. You know how they have the plane and you have the explosion? I need that sound effect too.
What's up, Neil? Chris Jackson RC. Yeah, I heard
Anyway,
I heard
I hope you passed,
I heard the
Roger.
RC helicopters are impossible to fly. They're very hard. You got to practice and they're expensive, so it's an expensive hobby there.
Well, I do happen to know for a fact that the ones that we used to buy in the mall are in no way, shape, or form close to the gas-powered
The real
helicopters that
hobby
you see
ones,
doing
yeah.
flips and dancing and stuff like that.
Uh,
Completely different concept.
you mean well, a lot of guys are using electric though, now. A lot of
Really?
guys are really using electric. And
Yeah.
some of
How
those
did yeah.
helicopters electric, they are
Mm.
very expensive.
Because of that fact.
Okay.
Because of the
I
fact
know a
that
guy that crashed two $3,000 helicopters within the
See,
same month.
Herman, that's what I
there's
always
that
hear.
video link
Hear me.
again for you
They're
guys.
super expensive, and then you have to learn with this. It's super
Well,
expensive, and they don't have those safety devices you would get in a DJI
Hey,
drone.
Neil.
well, see, the
fail.
thing is, most of the stuff is reusable, unless something gets bent,
True.
But the body and all of that is the easy part.
That's true. The plastic is like super thin. It crunches. You can literally uncrunch it. It's durable. Aviano, what's up, Rob C? I just tuned
Rob,
in, and already you're talking about crashing helicopters.
talk about
Rob C, we had fun flying with him. It was Rob C, Ray Kelly, Drone Bum, Paulie came later, and Herman was there.
Yeah, I was
It
there,
was
I was
It was
kind of
really
there.
nothing, but Herman and I, Stevie, hadn't been back there in 2 years because 2 years ago we flew there, and then to go back, COVID hit and shut the world down.
right.
That's the Del Air
So
behind you there, Lawrence?
what happened? Yes, this is a
The Del
spot
Air.
that we went to on the Jersey side. Now across the water is Philadelphia, but we were there with Billy Kyle, me, you, and Justin
Mhm.
that day. And the Del Air Bridge, this thing is big. When I say big, the center section raises up, and it takes maybe about 10 minutes, 15, 10 to 12 minutes just rising up
Mhm.
That's how slow it moves. I actually tried to catch it. I tried to do a time lapse on the video, but unfortunately, I had enough battery to catch it going up. But that
Well,
was about it. I didn't have enough to catch it going up, and I
the
could just
Delaware
reverse the
Bridge,
video.
I believe, is most of it is a wooden structure, but
That
Yes,
bridge?
so
it's
you
one of
see a lot of
the
metal.
oldest crossings between Jersey and Pennsylvania or Philadelphia, whichever one you want to call, because it does
Where is
go
that
into
at?
Philadelphia.
That's in Canton?
And uh, it's actually a train. It's a train bridge.
Yes,
And
yes,
like
it is a
Lawrence said,
train
that
bridge
middle section
between
over the
New
water, it
Jersey.
raises up. The whole section goes up and comes down to let larger boats go
Yeah.
under.
Now,
That
if
was
you
a
see the
fun day
picture,
there.
if you see, and that day we were there, Stevie,
That's what that's the
it
Delaware
was
River.
so hot.
Mm,
When I say hot,
Woo, hot.
in the shade, it felt like it was maybe 100
wow.
in the shade that day, and we were all in the shade. If you see what a picture is, we were in the shade and still under the tops of the car. It was just, you could see heat coming off of everything. That's how hot it was that day. In fact, that day we hit up 3 spots with Billy Kyle, but
Nice.
this was the first of 3 spots that we hit with him 2 years ago.
Yeah, I haven't
Actually,
hit
that was the day
that
we
spot.
met Mikey.
Yes, it was the day we met Philly Drone Mike. It's Philly Drone Life. It was the day we met him over by Chick-fil-A, which was interesting because you can tell Philly Drone Life from a mile away. He was was he coming out of a drive-through or something?
No,
Or,
he was
or,
coming into the parking lot. We were in the parking lot.
oh,
He was driving in from the street, and you could hear him before he got to us.
yes. He's like, hey, you guys. Oh my goodness. We could hear him. I was like, yo, yeah, that's Philly Drone Life.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But it was a fun day though.
he saw you guys. That's why he had to go into that. Because when I hang
No,
out
I
with him,
think,
he's pretty quiet. Like he seems very like
who,
different.
Philly Drone Life?
Yeah, he was really quiet. Like not quiet, like when we were just flying
He
around. I guess
must have
he's not gonna
he
be
must have
screaming.
taken his meds. He must have taken his meds or something because I ain't never seen that man quiet.
He's the same guy, but like
You know,
not as loud.
you
You know what
know
I
what
mean?
it
Like
is?
he has the same thought process. You know what I'm saying? As you see. You know what I mean? But he
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
as
yeah.
loud. And
That's true.
we hit his train spot before it got hot because
Okay.
now they made that, you know, that area where everybody flies there when they're in Philly, but right by the water, by
Mm-hmm.
the bridge, the Benjamin Franklin.
Yes, by the
Right,
Ben
right,
Franklin.
right.
I
Okay.
heard they made the water red now.
Yeah.
That area used to be
Well,
like you know, it was safe to
it
fly there
is
before.
because when we were there that same day, well, no, we were there a
No, this
different
was
time,
another time,
Herman.
but
We were there, and
that
the
was the
police
parallel,
came.
Lawrence.
The police came, Stevie. There were like 5 or 6 of us flying. Jose was there. There were a bunch of us there from New York, and we were flying that bridge. And the police came and they said, excuse me, we don't really have a problem with you guys flying drones, but the motorman on the train said that he stopped on the bridge, which we did see a train stop because the drone was a little too close following him like that. And
Mm.
we assured him that it was none of us. We were like, well, there's that drone, there's this drone like that. And he was like, well, look, guys, just stay away from the bridge. And he went away. But
We
it
knew
was
Yeah,
it was one
nobody
of
that
you
was with
guys.
us.
right.
It was definitely nobody that was with us. But to
We
talk
knew it
about
was one
drone
of you
friendly city,
guys.
what happened?
We knew it was one of you guys.
Of course. But they were cordial about it,
It
you
was
know.
that guy over there.
It was
Over
him.
there somewhere.
It was one of them. One of
Yeah.
these guys. Wait a minute, you're down under me, and Herman's over there. So hold on, I got to put this down to point. But it was one of them, like that. But anyway,
That's how we knew
Let's
it.
get into the first story that we got here. I know you did not get any of the news, Stevie, but this one, of course, has to do with the DJI Mavic 3 Pro leaks. All right.
I ain't getting
You've
nothing
all
about that.
Going.
seen the live streams on them. I'm going to read a little bit of information that you may or may not have known, but according to Drone DJ and Jasper Ellens, who are both independently reporters that do news on DJI specifically and other drone stuff says the Mavic 3 Pro release is coming in November. They do have a supposed launch date also, and it sounds like it'll have some significant improvements over the 3-year-old Mavic 2 Pro. Did you know
What
that
are
was
they
3
taking
years old?
pre-orders?
Huh?
What are they taking pre-orders?
For the
Well,
3?
yeah, that's what seems to be the question. They say, and it's even better than the Air 2S, which was recently introduced. We know that. With
Yeah,
the promise, with the promised flight time of 46 minutes.
Okay.
Okay. It says also, the article also says in 2018, you have to pick between the Mavic 2 Pro with its 1-inch sensor and adjustable aperture, or the Mavic 2 Zoom with its 24 millimeter to 48, telephoto lens. But the Mavic Pro 3 will have the best of both worlds, with an even larger 4/3 sensor behind its 24 millimeter f2.8 stop all the way up to f11, telephoto lens, which has a 1/2-inch sensor. And from what they're saying, it would be as if you had the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom
Right.
at the same time.
Okay.
Now, I
So,
have some specs here. I just have to pull a page up.
well, you see,
Wait.
what's funny about
Go
that?
ahead and talk while I put this up.
Not to cut you off, but there's a lot of talk out there, and I've heard guys that have been speculating on what's to come. And
Yeah.
I've been hearing talk about 2 different versions. I've been hearing talk about 3 different
Nope.
versions. I've been
Nope.
hearing talk about, 3 different packages you'll be able to purchase. I've been hearing a lot of talk, and I'm just waiting to see what happens, because the speculation is the speculation is the speculation. And until
It is.
I
Well,
see an FCC filing,
yeah. Well, see, this is what I also wanted to talk about also, because I'm just going to read off the only thing that makes this bird different
yeah,
than any other of the other birds that have come out in the Mavic series is the fact that it has 2 cameras, a telephoto camera, a wide angle camera, and it will have a battery lock.
mhm. Well, you see,
So
I think a lot
number
of guys were
17,
looking for.
huh?
I think that what a lot of guys were looking for was the fact that in what the market was willing to bear in a prosumer drone, how Autel has addressed that with an interchangeable payload.
Hey, AZ drone dudes.
And I think that
AAZ.
a lot of guys were looking for that with DJI, or either that or being able to change the glass.
Hey, Maddie, this
And
is true.
I don't believe they're getting
Addy,
either of the
bro.
2. I think they're getting an Air 2S and something else special along with it. But I mean,
Well, supposedly also on the 15th, as someone put in the chat, I think it was Drone Views, put
yeah,
on the 15th, they're supposed to be releasing a Mavic 3. Now that might coincide, because I'm going to show you, I have to cross out his name because I don't want to get any copyright, but I'm going to try and cover up his name and show you what I have read right here. It says Jasper. Everything that's coming up with their name. I just want to show the screen. I just want to share the screen to show right here really quick that it says Mavic 3 full manual and specs, price $1,600, date November 15th.
Uh-huh.
Now, this is suspected. We don't know when the hell it's coming out because FCC patent has not been filed for. But now I wanted to talk with you, Stevie, and you, Herman, and you guys in the chat about that. My problem is usually DJI comes out with an FCC patent. This time they're talking about a launch date and they do not have an FCC patent. Now, as far as we know, they didn't apply. I would tend to beg to differ. Is there a way that they can hide their FCC patent from people? Does anyone know that, you guys?
I'm not sure on that.
Welcome back, Larry.
We see the patent before we hear about the drone, right? And that's how we start.
Exactly.
Gossip
But think about this. Think about this. What I'm trying to say.
Not the patent, the FCC filing.
Yes. Yeah, once the filing hits,
patents,
and that's when
photos change you know, from
Mini 3.
throughout, you know, they've always
Hey,
changed.
Tom, what's up?
Drone Views Media said a Mini 3 November 15th.
Well, all I know is I wouldn't be surprised if DJI did have an FCC patent and said, hold on until the day before launch date or something. Because
Right.
from what I understand, the FCC filings are public access to people.
Right.
Now, by filing your FCC, that FCC, by doing that FCC filing, it gives you the specs of what they're doing. Everything is still questionable right now. You
So
understand what I'm saying?
November 15th, right? That's like,
I apologize for having to insert this commercial, but I have to do it on the half hour. Some of you will see it, some of you will not.
Really.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
saw some of the in like 2 or 3 Facebook groups, they were even saying sooner than that.
Bob says patents
Right,
are
exactly,
public
because
information.
there was I
That's
believe an
fair.
article in Drone XL that I believe had a date that was earlier than November.
They said October 20th or something like that.
So yeah,
Like
something to that
the
effect.
end of October, they were saying.
Right,
A couple of
right.
people were sharing that, but I don't really know. I mean, I'm patiently waiting. What I have is sufficient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come on. Bottom
Listen,
line
well-
is, if you have a Phantom 4 Pro, you're good.
Well, listen, I was telling someone this also, Stevie. I was saying I have a Phantom 4 Pro, right? And I chose to hold off on the Mavic 2 Pro. Why? Not because everyone was getting it and I couldn't get it at the time, but more so, I was disappointed it wasn't 4K at 60. Now, the Air 2S came out and it was 4K at 60, 1-inch sensor. And that's why I went and got that one. Now,
We are
and this
completely on the same page. We are on the same page. Everything you just said was a big reasoning why I didn't get the 2 Pro. That's the big reason, because I was
Yeah.
so
And
spoiled.
I've flown both of them. People have,
Right.
yo, Lawrence, fly my drone. I'm like, stop asking me to fly your drone, man. I don't like flying nobody else's shit. But I did get a chance to fly the Mavic 2 Zoom, and I did get a chance to fly the Mavic 2 Pro. And they are great birds, but that
Oh, yeah.
4K at 60 is a deal breaker.
Oh yeah, those drones are great. If you have that drone, you know, I'm sure you already know what we
How
say.
long did the FCC filing come out on the MP before it was released? Maddie, I can honestly tell you that the filing, if I remember right, for the Mavic 2 Pro, the filing was out maybe a month before they even gave a launch date. Hey, Johnny Mac, how are you from Ireland?
Hey Johnny,
It's late over there in Ireland, and we appreciate you coming in and checking out the stream. I'm sorry if you guys hear that banging, but my nephew and I are convinced that our neighbor's building cabinets in the wall to hide his wife's body or something.
you sure that ain't Candyman out there?
Listen, I haven't said his
Coming
name.
through the mirror? Hey, what's up, Max? I see Max is in the chat.
That's there, yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, I also, but getting back to this Mavic 3, all we can say is we heard that the Mini 3 may be launched on the 15th. We're also hearing that the M3, the Mavic 3 will be launched on the 15th. All we can do is wait and see. Oh, I'm sorry, Scotland, but you're close. All right. Okay, cool.
Get it right.
Yes. Because we have someone that listens to the live stream from Ireland every now and then. I can't think of the name right now, but
Man.
it'll come to me. But I was in the area, so I feel pretty good about that. But you guys, did anyone get a chance to fly this week, including you guys in the chat? What did you do, Stevie? What did you do, Herman, this week?
Who,
Yeah.
me? What did I do? Well,
Yeah.
I flew with you the other day. The rest of the week,
Okay.
I've been.
And Stevie, no suns.
I was flying in Jersey.
Oh, but Herman, I want to do a sunshot, a sunrise meetup. The problem is it's been a little nippy in the morning, but I want to do one at the train bridge. A meetup there at the train bridge.
Hey, Paul, what's up, man?
Hey, Paul Murray, how are you?
That's
Now,
Paul
I would
Murray.
recommend a Mavic Air 2S. Honestly,
What
And
happened?
this is the truth. A lot of people, including DJI, did not tell you this. If you buy the Air 2S, it's
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
okay. There's one thing you have to take into account.
yeah.
Most of your computers out there cannot play or handle 5K. And
Yeah,
I'm saying most of your computers because I don't know what you guys have, but if you don't, if you're not heavy into editing video, I mean, if you're into editing video, maybe your machine can. Your machine will play it at its best quality. But as far as recommending the Air 2S, hell yeah, I recommend it. That 1-inch sensor, the night shots, that thing is beautiful at night. Not
Well,
to
you know
mention
what?
during the day. What's
Yeah,
that, Herman?
it's processor sensitive. You know, if your processor is
Sean
up to date
Geeksvana.
on your computer, if it's not, you know,
It's
it
a
doesn't. It's not so much about your computer or whatever. It's more so your processor in your computer.
true.
yeah, but the thing
True.
is, I've been mentioning this on other shows that everybody wants bigger frame rates and bigger files,
Hold on,
and
hold
their
on, Stevie.
computers. Yeah,
Stevie, can I stop you just for 1 second? I just want to answer
Hey
travel with
there,
Rosie and
Sean.
you can finish. But
proxy
she
files.
says just
Johnny.
use proxy files. Travel with Rosie. I understand proxies. Stevie understands proxy files. Herman understands proxy, but the average person that edits video doesn't know what proxy files are. And that's exactly what I mean, right? Mike Roast Media, what's up? What were you saying, Stevie?
No, I was just saying that a lot of people want all these bigger and better and don't understand that their computers might not be able to handle it. Their software might be not up to date to it. So they might have to update their drones and their computers, at least upgrade them to the point that you're not going to be lagging when you editing your footage. Even with the proxy
Exactly.
files, you still run into headaches when you're doing 5.3K. And then now we're going to go from 30. Soon we'll be into 60,
And
frames per second and all this stuff.
supposedly the
That's going to be
M3
ridiculous.
and supposedly the Mavic 3 is going to be 5.6 or something K.
People don't understand what they're getting into at that point. Their computers are going to freeze up when they're messing with the video. If you're just taking pictures, it's fine. But
Paul
they'll
Murray
see
says,
when they
don't
come.
tell anyone, but he ordered one today. Geeks Vana says, proxy to proxy out of me. And in fact, Herman,
Yeah.
remember, I was finally got in contact with Sean, and once he gets from the drone convention, we will all meet up on Zoom and have that meeting. I just want to let you know. But good choice, Paul, because that Mavic 2S, not only is it a good bird, but cinematic mode is really nice.
Ooh,
If you
Paul
have an
Murray?
Air 2S, huh?
Who are you talking to? Paul Murray?
Yes, he said he ordered one today. Don't tell anyone, but he ordered one today.
Don't tell no one.
I thought he had three of them already.
Yeah, right.
But see, travel with Rosie, it's a very good point that you can use proxies, but you have to think there are a lot of people that are in this chat. So, there are very few people who color edit and post edit their videos and add sound and all of that stuff into their videos. But the average crowd in here takes their video in whatever format it is and just pushes it straight to YouTube.
Oh, you'd be
Out,
surprised.
but
Listen,
but
we know
for
we.
those who do know, your CPU thanks you for it. I can believe it. For those of you who don't know what a proxy is, find out if your video editing software, that whatever you use to upload to YouTube, can create
Uh-huh.
proxies. And if it can, then I would suggest to get the Air 2S. Definitely.
But you have
But you
issues,
don't
man.
have to use the 5K. But it's like having a Porsche that does 250 and you never go over 100.
Yeah. And you're paying for the difference. So I think
Yeah. Yeah.
another thing that I was bringing up was a lot of people are really good with the Air 2S, and I mentioned that in one of my videos. That with the Air
Draiman.
2S, it go a long way. There's a lot of people that haven't even figured out that drone and
does.
used every feature yet. And if you're
Mhm.
just posting the face, I'm not telling anybody what to do with their money. If you want to buy it, buy it. You know what I mean? If that makes you happy, that's your thing. But I'm just saying that the Air 2S will last a very long time, I believe, in most people's hands. There's no reason to upgrade And I think a lot of people realize that. A lot of people are seeing the specs on the 3, and
Right.
they're hearing the price, you know, the guesstimations, you could
The
say,
Air
whatever, of the
2S
price.
looks more appealing.
And
It
a
looks
lot of
more appealing.
people, are like, I'm not interested. I know, just by going to these little meetups and stuff that we go to, just the buzz in the air, you know, there's a lot of people that it's just super unnecessary. All those upgrades are just, you know, there's just really, that money is going to be kind of not spent wisely. If you have an Air 2S, I think the Air 2S will hold you down for a very long time. Same way with the 2 Pro. Same with the Mavic 2 Pro. A lot of people bought that drone whatever years ago, and they fly it to, you know, every, you know, to the recent time right now,
Hey,
and
Angie.
they're fine with it, you know.
Yeah, good. Who
I
are
think
watching
Right.
EBR FPV? I watch his videos, man. I know who EBR is. He got the sick flow. His flow is really, really nice. If you don't know who EBR FPV is, he comes into the live stream every now and then randomly, and he flies freestyle, but he doesn't fly the nauseous freestyle. You know, he does stuff a little slower and smoother and the flips and everything, so you can see what he's doing. He's not like you know, like some of the other hardcore FPV pilots who do fly like that. You
see
know,
with
I don't. Hey,
these two,
Adrian Lee from the islands. The Air 2S is a great bird. The downfall is the fly app. I agree
yeah,
1001%.
the app,
Mike Roach, how are you,
tough to
man?
work with. Once you go from the other apps that DJI had in the past, the Fly app is, it's a little it's a little setback, but it's workable. You know, I wish you could see, like we talked about this before, the amount of satellites is near impossible to see. You could go under a tree on a sunny day, you still
I
can't see
know.
that. It's
I
terrible.
know.
Well,
You
you
don't
know
even know
what?
how many satellites, if you don't know if it dropped out on you because you're getting close to a magnetic area or something like that. You don't know.
Well, you know what, Stevie? The amount of people who are so, you know, come into the drone, you know, community. A lot of guys have come into the drone community, you know, during the Mavic series. A lot of guys have not, you know, they haven't come into the drone community during, you know, the Phantom series. You know, a lot of the guys have
True.
not
True.
experienced
With the 4
these
app.
apps. You know, so
Right.
well,
And
a
you have
lot
to
of the
think,
people who are in the community now, what you see in a lot of these chats and a lot of these groups and some of that, they came in with this Fly app and they've been used to this Fly app.
They
I
have
think
nothing
you're
to
right,
compare
Gary.
it to. They have nothing to compare it to.
Exactly.
Right.
You
Whereas
know,
and you have to keep in mind, go ahead, Herman.
and that makes everything work better for you because if you've never experienced something else, then
It's an
this
amazing app.
well, if you want to put it that way, yeah.
Yeah, because they don't know anything else. So they don't know what an amazing app actually is. They just know that. In comparison to what else is going on in the world with other brands, the Fly app is a great app.
Yeah, compared that's true. Compared to other apps out there, you're
Right.
100% right about that. Tom's coming in
But
also.
Herman is 100% right. They have nothing to compare it to. So now more the veteran pilots
I
that
was
had the
going to
4 app,
mention, I was
you
going
had
to
all those
mention that,
features.
Stevie,
Yeah.
because if you think about it, combined with Tom coming into the chat now, I can say combined between the 4 of us, we have at least over 20 years flying experience combined. Because
Well,
I've been flying for 6 years. How long have you been flying, Stevie? How long have you been
Since
flying, Tom?
2016.
Okay, Tom, how long have you been flying?
2013.
Okay, it's Herman, you've been flying 4 or 5 years yourself.
well,
We
fine.
have well over 5 years experience flying, so we did
Yes.
have a chance to experience other operating systems for drones. I mean, I've flown the 3DR Solo, I've flown DJI, I've flown a few other operating systems, and
I've
to be
flown
honest, if you're new if you're just starting with your first drone in the Mavic series, which a lot of people are, the Go 4 app, if you saw that, you would probably think it was the holy grail of flying.
The 4 app was great. It had all the features. It had all the bells and whistles. It made the flying
Mr.
experience
Crawley, what's good?
easier. for me. Yo,
So-
honestly, I'm gonna tell you something.
Even more so with the camera settings.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I want to fly this week. I'm trying to get some sunrises. I'm watching the weather though. I'm getting ready for the foliage as well. You know, I charged up last night. I charged up the Phantom 4 Pro. I charged up all the batteries for the Pro because
Okay.
honestly, I would like to get more out of the shots. I would like to have the aperture adjustment feature, and I would like the little options that I have in some of the in the 4 app. You know, so I charged it up. Why not? You know,
And
I'm flying
congratulations.
locally. You know, I'm flying
Yeah.
locally, so I could lug what's taking. You know, the only thing I didn't like about the Phantom was in the beginning I was taking that all over the world with me. You know what I mean? And it was like a pain. I'm hiking, you know, in Mexico with a giant book bag, and I can't even carry waters with me and stuff like that because I have all drone and cameras and stuff. You know, now I could just
Thank you,
fold up
Brian,
something. You know, I could fold up something like the Air 2 or the Air 2S. You know, I've you know, I stepped it up after that. And I could fit so much more in my bag. And I have a 1-inch sensor there. You know what I mean? But if I'm flying locally, I still have my Phantom 4. I'll charge that up. You know, I'm going to get the 60 frames that I want, 4K. And it's not a big deal to carry that bag with me. What's up,
Well,
Tom? I see you want to talk.
What's going on, Tom?
I'm listening, man, because look, I slowed down a little, Stevie. I'm sorry, bro. I
Yeah.
retired on Friday.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
So
When
and
was the
Ray,
party?
I didn't even think about pulling it back, Ray Kelly.
Ray
Where's the
pulled
party,
back,
Tom?
what, 3 times?
3 times. He you know, and he had to keep telling me, Stevie. You know, he had to keep telling me.
Where's the party, Tom?
There've been a series of them so far, Herman. Next time I see you, it's a party.
Michael Blade.
Okay.
What's up, bro?
So I heard some of what was being said about the M3, and you know, I got to have a slight experience in that regard. One thing I would like to say is a micro 4/3 camera kicks the living piss out of a 1-inch sensor. So, you know, take that for what it is. I know there's a lot of holdouts out there. Thank you, Michael. I know there's a lot of holdouts out there been holding on to their Mavic 2 Pros and saying, I'm not getting that 2S. Okay. You know, because they had the 1-inch sensor, right? But that 2S is a dream of a bird. There's no doubt about it.
4K at 60 once again.
But
Hey, you know
yes,
what, Tom,
but
you're
yes. And you know what, guys?
on
Look,
Mike, thank
you
you.
can keep 5.6 and 6 and 8K. You can keep it, man. Just keep on giving me a higher frame rate on 4K and make it the best damn 4K you can give me, because 4K is going to be around for a while. And
Yes,
you know
it
what?
will.
4K at 120 is really going to be a dream to play with. You're going to have a lot of fun with that. Now,
It is.
with the zoom, the 1/2-inch zoom, the 1/2-inch zoom is a utility zoom from my perspective. Okay, so the 1/2-inch sensor zoom is something you'll have a blast with, because the 7-power optical is very, very clean. Okay, but that
Right.
sucker will rack out to almost, I think it is 27, 28K in hybrid. So for spotting purposes, phenomenal, just phenomenal. Now, I wouldn't be recording and pushing that stuff up into my Premiere Pro workflow between me and you, but definitely the 7X optical with good light is very clean. Now, that imparts that discussion about light, right? That zoom lens is worthless at night, but that micro 4/3, that's going to blow your socks off. That is going to blow your socks off, because those photo sites are so much larger. They're so much larger, and they're not susceptible to as much chromatic aberration as when you pack them in tighter. Okay. So people will say, hey, why don't I have more megapixels? Why don't I have this? Dude,
You don't need it.
megapixels, because megapixels is a consumer a worm on a hook.
That's a
all that
smoke and
is.
mirrors thing, megapixel.
It's just like, hey, you know, the biggest megapixels, that's the camera I want to buy. And that's what's sold to everybody, right? But in reality, the pros know. Give me 10-bit color. Give me big damn photo sites on that micro 4/3.
Bigger the eye,
Thank
the
you,
better to see.
Birdman.
Mhm.
You are going to have a nighttime shooter that is hard to rival unless you're flying an Inspire 2 with an X7
Right.
series.
Now,
Okay.
now,
Because even the
now-
tweaking, one thing, Herman, even the tweaking on this micro 4/3
Mhm.
will somewhat diminish the value
7
of the
times zoom will be
X5
great for roof
series
inspections,
lenses.
what he says.
Right.
If
Well,
travel
well,
with Rosie's, go ahead.
There's been a lot of speculation out there about pricing on this thing, and I've listened to some of the
There's
things that
three
I've heard.
So there are
And
three
I'm
versions,
saying
Herman.
that is this thing now. In my theory is, I think the price comes down a little bit on the fact that even though you're talking about micro 4/3, you're not having glass that I can change.
Yep.
So
No.
I
It's
think-
not an interchangeable lens.
No,
and,
right. And I think
yeah.
that brings the price down a little bit.
Well, see, here's what you're going to be faced with, and there will be sticker shock for some. Okay,
Yeah, I
but
expect that.
you're going to be faced with 3 different versions of this. The way it's packaged,
See,
you'll
that,
have
Lawrence,
the
3
entry
different
level
versions.
version, which is the bare bones. You get a battery, you get a
Mhm.
controller, a
Right.
regular controller.
Exactly, that's what I expected
Then there'll be a Fly More combo package.
with the regular controller.
But then there's going to be a Cine package that's going to require a
With all the
ProRes
bunch of
license, which
filters.
should be about $500. Okay, and then you're going to get a smart controller, which normally we're paying like what $750 out there on the market for a smart controller. They'll bundle it for probably another $500 to $600.
Right.
Okay, you get the 1 terabyte. So the thing you're going to see that bird go for about $3,100, I believe, in the Cine package there. Okay. Now the question is,
For
do you
about
need
how
it?
much? Or
About
roughly-
$3,100 would be
How
the
much?
Cine package, and remember that would include a smart controller. That would also include a ProRes license. You need the It's 1 ProRes license per bird. It's not if I have a few of them, I only need 1. No, they're mated to
But
the
you're gonna
device.
you're gonna have to explain what a ProRes license is to people because
Well, it's the
you're
only way you're
speaking
going to be able to
Chinese,
process
so-
your video on the back end out, and it's also
On the Apple.
how you're going to be able to hand off your video for professional use. Okay, we'll leave it at that because it does get a little complicated, and that's
Thanks for
something we
coming
could
in,
cover in
Paul.
a follow-up episode. But if you're going for the Cine package, you're going for a professional package here. Okay, and that is going to chew up hard drive space like you wouldn't believe. Okay, but look, the thing is, I think the entry model is going to be just below $2,000.
You see,
Okay.
you see what Matty put? 3,100 sounds about right. 1K smart controller, 1K ProRes sounds about right.
Yeah, but you know what they're also going to do, Lawrence? In that Cine package, you won't get a regular remote. Okay? Because
It'll be
don't think
smart
they were
controller
gifting you
only.
something for free. It's going to be a small controller only with the ProRes licensing. So, it's not so much, it's not like the deal you got years ago. Remember if you bundled it with a smart controller, okay, it was a lot cheaper. But really, they're substituting the smart controller, at say around a $500, $600 price point. But they were also
Enough,
taking
Paul.
away a $200 controller from you. Okay, remember, if you
Right.
go buy a controller, what is it, $1.99? So,
For what?
at the end of the day, it all washes out. That's why I'm
He's
saying it's
talking
about
about the regular-
$3,100.
Let's
talking
see,
about the
here's a
regular
question.
controller
Johnny
that
Drone Flyer says, why would most people need that drone? Well, Johnny Drone Flyer, that's why they come out with the 3 different versions of it. There are people out there that specifically, and since I've known for 2 and 3 years, 4 years, 5 years that only take pictures. Then there are people that I know that only shoot video. So depending on your preference, if you're just a hobbyist and you're out taking pictures of family events, you don't need the Mavic 3. You
You're
really don't
absolutely
need
right,
the Air.
Lawrence.
You
You're
don't
right,
need the
Lawrence.
Air 2S. You don't need
But
the Air 2S either.
you-
If
you're
you just
absolutely,
take
you're
pictures.
absolutely right, Lawrence. But in a what we live in is a capitalistic society where most things are a want. So
Guys, these are all first world
it
problems.
actually is a
Okay,
lot of guys
they're
who
all
might
first world
want it but
problems. We
don't
got
need it.
First world problem. I say that all the time.
Yeah, but come on,
First
man.
world problems.
Hey, listen, Herman, how many
Yeah.
times have you heard? Show me the most stunning beauty
But
walking
Johnny,
down the street, and I'll show you a guy that's tired of being with her. And that was putting
Johnny.
it
Yeah,
nicely,
exactly.
guys. Okay,
But I'm
that was
saying
putting
to
it
you,
nicely, but
no,
you
you're
know,
right.
it's like
but there's guys that get a little.
it's like looking at your drone, holding it in your hand, and the new one just flies by you.
What
You're
the
You're,
hell?
distracted
you're
immediately.
absolutely right, but there's people who get around every day in a Honda Civic. And there's a guy that gets around every day in a Bentley.
God bless him.
You got to
God bless
factor
you.
in. You got to.
Can you guys hear that banging?
Yes, we do.
I'm on the second floor and it sounds like they're coming through the freaking hallway wall.
We're gonna see you just magically disappear into your backdrop.
Yeah.
I'm about to do that. I'll be right back, man.
Oh man.
Where you
Let me
going?
let me see what the hell is going on.
Mute the mic. Oh yeah, well,
Yeah,
that
could you?
cursing out here.
Well, as long as they're not banging
You're
in
going
your
for
door, you're
production
fine.
value here.
Yo, what are you doing, man?
I know. Yeah. We don't want to be able to testify.
Yeah. We don't want to
Okay.
get dragged into
Don't
this.
only mute the
Yeah.
mic, but turn the camera off. We hate to
Uh-oh.
see it.
We got the cameos. Oh,
Oh, watch out.
we got doubles.
Oh, that.
They clone it. They
But
clone it.
yeah,
what
a
we got
lot
there.
of most of it is more so about want. It's not about me.
See,
Yeah, we
See,
spoke
look.
about this earlier. I mentioned this in the end of one of my videos. I mentioned the wants and needs, right? Like, you want it or do you need it? You got to come to that crossroad and then make your decision. A lot of people just want it because I'm telling you, the Air 2S could hold a lot of people down for a very long time. That drone is an amazing drone and it does a lot. You're still muted, Lawrence.
You're right. But I
That's
I
the
try
answer
not
to
to
Johnny's
have that.
question, though.
I try not
Why
to
do
have
you
that.
need that drone?
Wants and needs. Wants and
no. There's real reasons. I mean, there's a lot of real reasons out there. Listen, with a ProRes licensing, remember you're shooting in a pro realm route now. Okay, you're shooting. That stream is directly from the sensor. It's a very high. I mean, the image quality is impressive when everything is encoded in ProRes. So, and ProRes really takes advantage of multi-core processing. So if you have a multi-core processor, it's going to fly. ProRes is the way you're going to retain that value through the entirety of the editing process also. So now, if you're shooting professionally, for commercial work, and that could run the whole spectrum. I'm talking about the entertainment world. You definitely need ProRes, okay? But it's going to offer some other things. I mean, Micro Four Thirds means you're going to get stunning image quality even without the ProRes. You're going to get phenomenal resolution out of that. Still to be seen. I want to see it to believe it, but it should be phenomenal. I haven't seen an actual output from it yet. That I would like to see.
Yep.
But when you bring that in and start working with that,
I want to see the same as well.
It's gonna
it's
be
going to
amazing.
be clean.
Yes, it's gonna be amazing. But like
Yeah.
Johnny said, if you're just posting on Facebook, which is gonna reduce that whole.
This is why I'm saying,
why would you
but
need
this is
that
why I'm
drone?
saying you don't need
Yeah.
5.6, 6K, 8K. Give me more K. No, why? You just want to kill your hard drive, right? I mean, that makes no effing sense.
Yeah.
4K. Give me the bet and give me 10-bit. So give me the best you can right now.
And bit.
Okay. I doubt you're going to give me 12 to 14-bit at this point, not with the sensor. But Micro Four Thirds, give me 120 frames per second at 4K. Okay. Give me 240 at 2.7 And now we're talking about you can have some real exciting.
Okay, well,
action.
Tom, those specs that you mentioned, I have something close to that. And everyone's talking about the Mavic 3, the Mavic this, the Autel this, the Autel that, but no one seems to be talking about this DJI Action 2 camera that's coming out, which has very impressive specs for an action camera. First of all, they're not going with that little GoPro cell phone lens anymore. They're going with a much bigger lens. And from the specs I've seen on it,
It's a ripoff
it
of
has
the
a field of view.
Insta360R.
This will be the next 360 camera for action. They have
Modular.
155-degree field of view compared to the old 145 degree field of view. It's a 1/1/7 inch sensor, CMOS sensor, an f2.8, of course, aperture, fixed aperture. But unlike GoPro, they're shooting at 4K and 60. And once again, we get back to those magic numbers of 4K at 60, but the Action 2 will also allow you to record at 2.7K at 120 frames per second and four times slow-mo in 4K at 120 stills. But it'll be capped at 12 megapixel. So since we're talking about cameras, this is something that a lot of people are sleeping on, but I think the FPV world may finally jump on.
They're already online for that. I mean, it's a centered camera. A lot. I seen a lot of, we fly with FPV guys. I mean, of course, Lawrence is an FPV guy.
Yeah.
Eddie. I mean, I know a lot of FPV guys that fly. And
Keep
one thing
talking,
that they
just
didn't
to
like
show the camera itself.
was
Keep going.
with the GoPro, even though the lens is slightly on the side, this is a center lens. You know what I'm saying? Look how small it is.
With
It's actually
screen.
it's actually made. You're right, Stevie. It's actually made. DJI thought this out because they did look at the modularity of what Insta360 brought with the Insta360 1R, right? But what they did here was they looked at it and said, how can we enhance this and make it saleable to our drone flyers? Because now, no doubt, shortly after the release of this, or maybe announced with the release, will be different harnesses to attach to your FPV drone.
This is what I'm showing
to
right
your
here.
right. But I want to get the
great,
specs right. Just 1 second, because it was just a little bit of confusing there. So the Osmo Action 2, directly from the specs, is touted to be 4K at 4:3. Okay, so that's 4096 by 3072. So that'll go all the way up from 24 frames a second, all the way up to 60 frames per second. Okay, and then 4K at 16 by 9. Okay, which is 3840 by 2160. That will bring it all the way up to 120 frames a second. Okay,
Yes.
So now at 2.7, okay, you can get this all the way up to 120 frames a second, but at 1080, you can bring it all the way up to 240 frames a second. Now keep something in mind. You know, a lot of your viewers, if you post into YouTube, Instagram, okay, they're watching it on a mobile device. So you can definitely get away with that 1080 at 240 frames a second, especially if you bring something.
Also, I just want to point this out, Tom. This is the first action cam that I've seen that you may not have to put a strap on, but they use magnets to keep the camera.
Well, again, say thank you, Insta360.
Through your t-shirt.
Because that's the Insta360 go-to camera, right?
Yeah.
The little pendant. You put the pendant on under your shirt, and then you just boom.
And then
now, of course, guys, if
through your
anybody
shirt.
has a pacemaker out there, don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
The video will probably go viral.
Yeah, don't
do
document your own demise.
Yeah,
but
exactly. Thank you, Steve.
I don't remember if we were talking on this show, but I was talking before this stuff started coming out with the two, right? I was saying, a matter of fact, I was on Jim's show above drones. whatever, I forgot his name, whatever. Anyway, we were talking about the GoPro 10, right? The Hero 10. And all I kept saying was, I wish they would have made a small camera, because everybody was talking about the Session, how much they wanted the Session back, right? The Session was the smaller GoPro, and then I was talking about how,
for sale,
yeah,
Session
and I was
5s,
talking,
baby.
yeah, the Session 5, and I was talking about how Insta came out with that little camera, and I seen people in the city walking with that magnetic thing in their t-shirt, so the camera's just sitting there in their shirt. You don't see no string because it's on the inside of their shirt. And I was saying something like that on the FPV drone with quality footage, like what they're presenting now, what DJI is doing right now, would sell. I think that camera is gonna fly off the shelves. I mean, I'm gonna buy one.
Well,
it's gonna move. It's gonna move. Because you know what? I didn't like the fact that they were sticking those big GoPro cameras on these drones. I think that throws it off a lot.
But
I mean, I don't knock anybody. This is your drone. You do whatever you want. I'm saying, me personally, I'm only talking for myself, and I'm not knocking anybody that does it. I don't want to mess up anybody's sales or anything, but
I want to point out something.
My thing is, I want to say something though. This was engineered by a lot of people on DJI side to fly properly. When you start adding something that's that heavy, like a GoPro 9 or a 10, those are heavier than the 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Characteristics.
You're changing the flight characteristics, and
and that's fine if you're building your own FPV,
right?
But when you're adding that to a stock bind and fly, like what Stevie's holding in his hands, that's a different animal. You don't want to change center of gravity, right? You change flight dynamics. Okay, you create additional turbulence coming off the back of that.
Yeah, Tom is on the same page. You could make it work, and it will work, and you will get better footage, and that was the whole purpose, right? To use the GoPro footage instead of what the FPV drone captures.
Well, let me ask you a question, Stevie. If I may interrupt for a second, when GoPro came out with the Karma, what it actually wound up doing, right, Stevie, was driving more people to go buy a DJI drone because the Karma couldn't get out of its own way, right?
Yeah, right.
Now, GoPro, unfortunately, is having some deja vu right now. And you gotta go hats off to DJI, man, because no matter who comes out with something, they always come and trump. I'm sorry to use that word for some people in this room. I didn't mean to say the word Trump. I said it again. Damn, I won't say it a third time, otherwise he might appear. Okay, so, but here, what you have is the GoPro 10 is having a major overheating problem right now.
Yes, they are. Okay? Yes, they are.
And you got people on the fence going, I want a GoPro 10. I want a GoPro 10. Ooh, what's this Osmo Action 2? And if GoPro doesn't get their act together real quick with a firmware release that stops these things from overheating, I mean, you can't record at high resolution for any extended period. And by extended period, drone flight
without it overheating. And
an extended period is a drone flight. Okay, let's be reasonable about this.
Can I address something Sean was saying on the chat? The arm bracers, I purchased them maybe 2 or 3 months after I bought the drone.
And you're glad you did.
And I'm super glad I did, because this drone would have been in a box on the way to DJI right now if I didn't have these arm bracers. I did a dive recently, and it didn't end well. I didn't pull out early enough. And you never want to say that. But anyway.
That could stay with you for years, Steve.
Yeah. That's the 18.
Fortunately, I know you're a married man.
Exactly.
But listen, I hit the dirt and I was going pretty fast. And the only reason why these arms are on right now is because of the arm bracers.
You're 100% right about that.
I'm glad I invested in the arm bracers. I'm telling you right now, because it landed on the arm. All the dirt was in it was in the arm here. Let me see. All the dirt was here. So the main impact was right on one of the arms.
Right.
And if you didn't have that brace, it might have shattered.
Yeah.
Which, Stevie, that's why I think the DJI FPV 2 will definitely have carbon fiber, some
It
carbon
better.
fiber components.
I've been seeing the leaked pictures and I've been super upset. I hope they have carbon fiber painted a different color or something because it looked like a light gray. And I was listen, I'm not building a drone or buying a bind and fly to the FPV 2 comes out from DJI. I'm not gonna, when that FPV 2 comes out, and if it's not carbon fiber, I'm gonna be in Lawrence's house soldering shit, like for real, because I give up. I'm waiting for carbon fiber. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for carbon fiber. If it's not carbon fiber, I give up. I already have all Eddie's recommendations and Lawrence's recommendations in the cart. Once DJI doesn't come out with a carbon fiber, you're gonna see me with one of those binding flies with the big remote buzzing around with it because I'm being patient right now because I love this drone. This drone, I'm telling you, it seems, you know, a lot of people gave it a lot of slack because it was plastic. And how do you fly a DJI drone that's plastic? I mean,
that's not your normal plastic though.
Yeah, but this has so much tech that I've been able to fly since March. This is the first crash.
Right.
But if you see the stuff that I've been pulling off, if you go to my channel and see the stuff I've been pulling off stuff with this drone that I couldn't even imagine when I first bought it.
But Stevie,
imagine.
Can I point out something that I want to get back to the braces that you have?
Yeah.
And maybe I can explain it this way by showing my hand, but by you putting those braces on, you basically made that drone a ball. Because all of the contact points are as solid as the others. In other words, the two right side arms are as solid as the two left arms, which means on impact, remember when you crashed, what did you do? You rolled, right? That's what an FPV drone does.
Also, you're spreading the energy. You're spreading the energy over a much greater surface area, which kind of diffuses the impact across a greater
now, had you not had those braces on, like you said,
Stevie, I sent mine back. I didn't have braces on it, and I nosedived right at the water line at a boat ramp. Okay, she did get a little wet, but again, able to recover her. And I sent it in with the hope that I wasn't even going to pay for the DJI Care refresh. I figured I'd just go for whatever the repair was. Right. But apparently it hit so hard that it broke all the standoffs on the main circuit board. And so the repair was like $190.
Wow.
So it made sense.
It made no sense
it made sense for me to go for the 257 to get the brand new, wrap.
We talked
exactly. Sean said it spreads the energy over a wider impact area.
Yeah, wider surface area, which means there's less impact per square.
This is what
centimeter
FPV frames do. Carbon fiber does that.
So Tom, you're saying in that sense, it was more feasible for you to use the
Carrier.
Yeah,
it was like a couple.
They gave me a choice.
More, you got a brand new.
Yeah, for $60 more, I got a new one, and because my thing is, what else was wrong?
I gotta answer the phone, guys.
So it's more so, something else could have happened, and it might have been attributed to that initial crash. Okay. So I figured I'd go for the whole kit and caboodle. Why not get a brand new one?
Yeah, that makes sense. And we talked about it in person the last time we were together flying.
Yeah.
And I was saying, man, like, how do you put a price on your happiness? You know what I mean? There's so
many people miserable. Look. We're talking about who's going to buy the next bird, right, Stevie? Exactly, man. Yeah. If you want to buy the next bird, go buy the next bird. If it makes you happy,
makes you happy. Stevie,
life is short, man. Life is short.
The guys who's buying the next one. Yeah, I always say I never tell anybody how to have fun. If you feel that you want it and you can afford it,
right?
Don't
take food.
And you know what?
Don't take food off your kid's table.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. See, in the video, I believe it's the Philadelphia video I released like a couple of months back. I said exactly that. Before I went into the wants and needs, I said, listen, if this makes you happy and you can afford it, and it's not going to hurt your family and the budgets and all that stuff, go for it. Like that, that ain't that, me. I'm not about that life. Just trying to deflate people's tires. I just say
now, Herman, I might be one of those guys. I might be one of those guys that gets it because I basically told my kids, okay,
Mhm.
who are all grown, okay, I helped you find your way.
Right.
Now, don't lose your freaking way, okay, but I helped you find your way. And I
Mhm.
helped the grandkids, okay.
Right.
If there's anything left at the end, it's not called an inheritance. It's called a damn bonus, okay.
Right.
I'm gonna have fun with my life, okay,
I totally understand
because
that.
it's
Tom.
short.
Yeah,
It's freaking. You look up, and it's the
That was-
majority of it's behind you, man.
yeah.
So
that was
if
the
it makes
basis
you
of our
happy,
conversation.
right? If it makes
Yeah.
you happy, it gives you some quality of life, guys. What we're talking about here,
Listen.
no doubt about it. These are all fucking
Tom.
first world problems, okay?
Tom, no
You
matter
know,
how you-
please.
No matter
We
how you
complain
slice
about
it
the
up,
pettiest shit, but it's the petty shit within our passion.
right? But no matter how you slice it up, Tom, there's a lot of ramen recipes out there. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? You can get into this passion for real cheap these days. Okay. Whether it's a mini SE, okay. Please don't waste your money on a FEMI, but that's another discussion.
what?
You know, once you go DJI, you never go back. Okay. You know, the FEMI, a lot of people, oh man, that's the hottest thing. We got to get one. And you know, there's buyer's
Well, you
remorse
know
after.
what? They got
You
the one that came out there. The what's that? The one we were waiting for like 100 years. The V copter. That's out.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
For the FPV guys, the V copter is out there if you want something different.
That's interesting, but I wouldn't invest in that. I don't think that would make me very happy. I
Right.
think that's a cool
Exactly.
drone.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a cool drone to take pictures with in Facebook or something.
Stevie, I still have to say
Selfies.
the motion
Most of the
controller,
drones are for taking
the motion
pictures for
controller makes me
Facebook.
happy.
The controller on the V
Well,
cop.
Motion controller makes me happy. Even though Ken said it looked like I was manipulating something that day. Okay. Okay. Because I was sitting down and I had it in my lap. But you know, look, we know he's twisted.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But yeah, that motion controller, man, that makes me happy.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna tell you, I'm waiting to see what the FPV from DJI Part 2 is gonna be. Like as far
I'm
as
sorry about that,
if
guys.
the tech on this is fine, a little better camera, yeah, that's fine. I can still deal with this camera. I don't really care. I make it work. You know, I know a lot of people don't like the camera.
You're flying it for different reasons, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, but
Same thing as me.
I'm zipping around real fast. I'm not making a Netflix special with it, so it's fine. It works. I don't have to. But with that DJI camera that's coming out, the little square one, that if it's very light, I'll take a chance maybe.
How much
with the engineering like that?
if they're smart, they'll put a mount on it. It'll be a built-in mount.
See something like that with a 3D printed thing. I'll try it out. See if it's got a little
Stevie,
bit
watch.
better
I'm
quality.
just saying, because they went with this modular design,
Right.
who's to say that, you know how they included 2 housings for us with the DJI FPV? Whoever thought about the lime green one?
Right.
Traffic orange might have been nicer, but who's to say they don't come out with something like that in the box and it already has the mount for this, for the OM2, right? For the OA2.
Yeah, because
right?
If you had a custom, if you
At
got
150, what is it, 155 degree viewing angle on it.
That's the
Nice
only
10-bit
thing
color.
Yes,
Right.
155
Yeah.
degree viewing angle,
Yeah.
as opposed to the old 145.
So that would be a sweet add-on with them selling you both freaking products, right? And who's to say maybe if a smart marketing person gets involved that it's not offered as a bundle package someplace.
Oh, they could just sell it separate for like $20.
See,
just to cover
you
with the
could have.
rack.
I mean, right today you can go get yourself an Insta360, okay, 1R, and then buy a mount for a Mavic 2 Pro, and then it breaks apart in 2 pieces, and you know all that. It's a lot of work. Okay, this would be real simple. 1, 2, 3, man, drop that camera right on top. You know, that would be nice. That I think would be nice, and probably have some of the flight dynamics built into it, because maybe even, you know, with a USB mount on the top, a USB-C mount on the top, when it plugs in, clamps down, You know, one of the things is maybe it senses that it's there, and therefore it can modify its flight dynamics. Okay, so you don't get any vibration from it.
Mhm.
Right.
And also I think the stabilization probably would be much better in the larger camera housing than it would be in the small gimbal mount.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You're right. Well,
Well-
I'm kind of excited. You know, I'm honestly excited about that little camera, and I think I'll be one of the customers on that one. The
I have the
Mavic 3,
original. Yeah.
the
I'm
Mavic
thinking
3,
about it also, Stevie.
of
I
course,
seriously
bro. That's
think
gonna come
because
in so handy.
because this is why I'm going to tell you this is why, because they're gearing more towards the 360 version of a camera with that 155-degree view. So technically, if you take two of those and put them together, you will have basically that 360-degree angle. But the way this camera is designed, I wouldn't be surprised if DJI throws a little niche in their software, which allows you, just like you can on a 360 camera, to turn around to use this full 155-degree view.
That would be sick.
In other words, you could focus
you
on
could
something
pick-
off on
you
the
pick
side.
view.
or-
Pick the view you want.
Exactly, because of the dome shape and the shape of the 360-degree cameras that they have, they're basically the same. When you put two of them together at a certain distance, you do get that 360-degree circle. So why couldn't you get
Close,
that
but
180
no, at 155 each, it's not gonna. You're still gonna have a dead zone in there. What
depending on the distance of the camera?
What Insta360 did was their view is actually goes over almost 190 degrees, and then when you put them over, it's the overlap.
It
And what
overlaps,
happens there is
Mhm.
the software stitches that together.
Right,
And
right.
what's great is then you can, in post, just pick which angle you want. Now, Insta360 just came out with brand new software, which makes it so much easier now. What you used to have to do was like go scrub through your timeline, pick your
Same
view,
here, Maddie.
export, and then start from scratch again, go through, pick a different angle. But now what you can do in the new software is I can scrub through, get that image I want, get that framing I want, Stevie, save it as a view, and then go right back and clip it again at the exact in and out points and take it from a different angle. Now imagine being able to shoot several simultaneous at the same angle,
That's sick.
right?
Yeah.
And
No, that's
output
what
that. So
that made me want to buy that camera. So I
Well,
could
see,
figure-
this is
'cause
what
I'm
I'm
doing that
wondering
now.
what they're going to do with the software.
I'm
Because
doing
if
that
you can
now with
take
the
that
GoPro.
155, what happened?
No, I was saying that now I do that with the GoPro, but I have to be moving around, right? Because
Right.
most of the time when I'm vlogging, I'm by myself. So I got to put the camera here. I got to tie it to a tree, tie it to the
You
gate,
know how many
put
times
it on
I've
the
ran to the
bench,
top? Stevie,
and
do
catch
you know
all
how many
these different angles and then edit it later. I can do it
But
with
Yeah,
hold
one
on,
yeah.
camera. You know what I'm
Stevie,
saying?
you know how many times I've ran to the top of the stairs, put the camera there, ran back down the stairs, and came
Yeah,
up like I
yeah.
was walking up the
Yeah.
3 stairs because I'm
I'm
vlogging by myself?
I'm about that life, man. I'm tying up. That's why if you see my vlogging setup, it's on the one of those what you call those things that you could grab the gorilla pod,
The
whatever.
gorilla,
Yeah.
the gorilla grip or the gorilla
Yeah,
like.
it's like the
Gorilla
tripod
Pod.
that has
Yeah,
so you
Gorilla
could just-
Pod.
yeah, so I vlog with that because I could just tie it to a fence. I could tie it. I could put
It's
it
a
on the bench.
typical
Yeah,
turn
I
it
could
into
bend
a
it and shape
crescent
it.
and you use
Yeah,
it.
I
Yeah.
could keep it straight. I could, give it that little bend for the little vlogging selfie look and all that stuff.
Right.
So, it's multi-purpose because most of the time I'm running around by myself. When I see you guys, it's usually like on the weekends if we get away and we link up the right way, time it out right. But most of the time I'm by myself, so I have to figure out how to. But with the Insta360, that what is it? The newer one
Mm-hmm.
that everybody started doing. I was looking at that and I was looking at the feature that Tom was just mentioning, that you could take from that same timestamp, you could take a different angle and another angle for that same exact time.
Yeah.
And then you could just use that and go back and forth with that. That sparked my interest right away. But now, everybody's releasing stuff. And then the Hero 10 came out. Now this is coming out and these leaks. So I'm like, let me hold back.
Look,
and see what's best. Let me see what's best for me.
It's
By
the
time
bleeding
holidays
edge.
come.
your wallet bleeds during these periods, Stevie. It's the bleeding edge of technology. Okay.
Yeah.
I pride myself on being an early adopter, but I do have to watch the budget. Okay.
Yeah, you got to be smart about it.
The throttle
Yeah,
warning
definitely.
saying I'm about that life. I think
Yeah.
you're going to hear that a lot more on the internet.
Yeah,
I'm about that life.
absolutely. Absolutely.
But
Definitely about
it, it's almost time to get out of here. I don't know who's coming on, but I wanted to say, Stevie, I'm glad you came on because it wasn't determined whether Herman would be here or not, because technically he was supposed to be out playing football today, the team, but they forfeit. Or no, they forfeit due to COVID.
Really?
You know, you're right. The Gorilla Tripod is great, Ray Kelly says.
Yes.
And I'm going to get you to stay. I want you to record that, Stevie, and say it to me. It was, I'm about that life. So I can have a button. I'm trying to get a button for everything, man.
All right. All right.
Yeah, I need you to record that and send that to me. I'm about that.
I'm about that life.
Yeah.
It's as long, Lawrence, as we can get that sound bite of you warning us about the helicopter. Okay. I think that should definitely be a sound bite we have. Okay.
Listen,
When we're going squirrel, you can warn us.
If it wasn't recorded then, but I have
I
something.
think somebody in Rhode Island has that. Anybody, guys?
They have
Okay,
it in
I'm
their
paying a bounty for that, by the
footage.
way.
Here we go.
Catch footage.
Yeah,
Here we
whoever's
go.
got it,
Yeah, I
there's a
can hear that
reward
again.
being offered. Okay, whoever has, and if you have video to go with that, oh, that was even better. Okay,
Ray
we'll
Kelly.
definitely pay a higher bounty.
Listen, I don't need
Yeah,
my
video
own
that goes
bullhorn.
No, yeah, we got that.
And
Okay.
Tom, not bad.
I think
for
they
somebody-
even heard that down in Jamestown, bro.
But
Okay.
Tom, not bad for someone with COPD, huh? Imagine if my lungs were 100%.
Damn, we'd all be in trouble.
Stevie,
We'd all be singing
I gave out a
audiologists
warning.
right now.
Yeah, you had to
Stevie,
knock drones out the
I
sky.
gave out a warning
right.
that
Yeah,
a helicopter was coming,
Yeah.
Stevie, that the entire
That helicopter would have went
we were
like this,
doing.
Herman.
Even the little kid, Steve, even the little kid stopped and was like, "What's that?"
Tom just said that
Yeah.
the helicopter pilot
No, the
got
little-
nervous. He heard you screaming. He thought you were screaming
No,
at
no.
him. He heard
The-
you over
the-
the.
Yeah, the little kid turned and thought somebody was suffering from altered mental status. Okay, so
He saw Lawrence on the land. Helicopter.
somebody's got to have that video. Come on, Rhode Island guys, come through with this. Somebody's
Michael
got
Listen,
it. Michael
we got
Blade,
one more
where were
story
you?
before we get out of here, guys. We got one more story before we get out of here. We can do this story in 4 minutes or less.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
Herman and I did stories on a company called Matternet, which has also got the contract to work with UPS here in the States once they settle all of that. Well, Matternet has come up with a solution for doctors' offices, hospitals, and places like that need instant drone delivery from point A to point B. And it's called the Matternet Station. I'm pretty much going to get into the video of it, but basically you load your supplies into this box here, and I'm going to go full screen here. I need to move this out of the way. So that's gone. And this is basically it. There will be a bunch of 10-foot Matternet trees like this one. This is one of their Matternet trees. Of course, you need access from hospital or coding, but you put your package into this particular box, and this seems to be working in Switzerland. These are actually 10-foot pods that they're using over in Switzerland, because Switzerland also introduced their 4G network for flying beyond the visual line of sight, and Matternet is in this as well.
Lawrence, they've been operating in Switzerland for about over 4 years
Yes, yes, they have. Yes, they
now.
have.
And they're
been.
actually the first drone airline that was certified for airworthiness by the FAA here in the United States.
Yep. Yep. And so if you start seeing little pods like this being put up in your neighborhood somewhere over in the UK or wherever they're doing it in
I mean,
Switzerland,
it's not a Venus flytrap.
it's definitely not a Venus flytrap. It is big enough to catch a human. I was thinking, but I thought it was an interesting story because we've followed Matternet Fly for their beyond visual line of sight licenses. Then like Herman said, for 10 years. What is it? What is it? 2017? They've
Yeah.
since 2017,
Yeah,
they
that's
have
4
been
years.
doing drone deliveries and stuff using the Matternet drone and these actual pods and other ways of conveying stuff back and forth since 2017. I thought it was kind of interesting to know that we did a story on them a few years ago and they're still going strong.
Right.
I'm putting on my Brady jersey now. Uh-oh. They're talking about
There we
Tom
go.
Brady. That's right. Brady's going back to Boston.
There we
He's
go.
up there, right? He's back up there. I wonder what kind of meeting he's going to get. Well, tell the new guys to grab the Matter Daddy at work. That's a Matter Daddy. Nothing, sweetheart. Now grab those tools. It sounds like a commercial almost. Do you guys get anything to say before we get the hell out of here?
Fly
Well,
safe.
I guess we'll be back again on Wednesday night,
Yes.
with some new fun things to talk about.
Yeah. What are we going to talk about, Herman?
And what happened?
What are we? I said, what are we going to talk about,
I
Herman?
mean, there'll be some new fun things to talk about. Something might be released. Maybe we might hear some new talk about DJI. Maybe that FCC filing might come up.
This is a possibility
No.
because if they plan on releasing on the 15th is not far away. On the 15th, something's being released. But until I see an actual advertisement from,
things may be happening tomorrow in the drone world. There's a lot of people working in the unmanned field, and something happens every day in the unmanned world.
right. So to hear on other live streams that there's no drone news out there, stop it. Stop it right now. There's drone news out there. You just have to find it. Serious. All right. Anyway, we're gonna get the hell out of here. Okay. We appreciate you all for supporting us. Stevie, thanks for coming in. Tom, enjoy your vacation. Herman,
Hey, Tom.
I'll speak to you
Just wanna-
perhaps later
Herman.
on. I need to actually make a call.
Ooh.
Salute, Herman. Salute,
Thank you,
everyone.
brother. Thank you.
You
Appreciate
guys,
it, guys.
be
Congratulations,
safe
Tom.
out there. Fly safer.
Enjoy it.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
Ups and
Everybody,
downs.
peace and love. Peace and love.
Show's trying to start another conversation.
What
We're out of
happened?
here.
Mike,
I'm
thanks
out
for
of here. I already
Good night,
clicked it.
everyone.